Hi, I'm Tracy Johnson from Cheese Needs, and welcome to This Week in Cheese.
Let's start with a farm update. So she's lining up for some food, and he's looking for some of the other, and she's saying no. So I think we're definitely all bred. Well done, Mr. Fraser. Great job. Gonna have some lovely looking babies in a few months. Yeah, they're all saying they're done now. They're all done with you, buddy. You'll be going home soon. And now a top tip. With grocery prices going up across the board, when I found this discount cream, I decided to grab it and make some butter. I've got a full video on this coming on my YouTube soon. And now the news. The American Cheese Society have just confirmed details for the American Cheese Society Conference, which is July 10 to 13 this year in Buffalo, New York. Now, I'm going to try my best to get there because it would be lovely to meet some of my cheesy pals from the internet. Let me know if you're planning on going. Apparently, there's going to be a massive amount of cheese there, so I'm really looking forward to that. And now the taste test.
Now, I've got in front of me two different cheeses, and they're both blue. They're both French, and we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. As I may have mentioned, I'm studying with Academy of Cheese, and one of these is a level 3, one of these is a level 2 cheese. So both of these are included in the umbrella of 300 cheeses that, as a cheese professional, I should have tasted and know the difference between. Okay, so you can see from the close-up that the Forme has more caves and caverns, blue-greeny mould, slightly greyish, probably because it's been vacuum sealed. The Bleu d'Auvergne, you can see those piercing marks. So they pierce these cheeses with a metal probe, and that allows oxygen into these holes and crevices so that the mould can grow. Now, the Forme d'Ambert is the older of the two cheeses. In fact, it's one of France's oldest cheeses. So we're going to start with the Bleu d'Auvergne. So the Bleu d'Auvergne is much easier to crumble. The Forme d'Ambert is much more consolidated of a paste. You can actually see there is a rind on the outside of that. Although there is a rind on the Bleu d'Auvergne, it's nowhere near as developed as this, round barrel shape that they've got on the Forme d'Ambert. Quick bit about Bleu d'Auvergne. It is younger, it is bigger, and it's much newer. So this was first made in the middle of the 19th century. That's what I mean by younger, but also this cheese is minimum of 4 weeks. Forme d'Ambert obviously goes up to 1 to 3 months. So let's have a try of the Bleu d'Auvergne. Nice bluey bit. Oh, that is a joy. So it's creamy, there's a mild spice, there's a texture to those mould pockets that you can taste in there. It's very creamy on the tongue, it's very grass forward, very clean. Very mild. I would say that's definitely a beginner blue. I've told this story before, but until about 2 years ago, you wouldn't have got me near blue cheese because it's moldy. I understand people who say it's moldy. I was those people. I tried a very mild cheese called Saint Elizabeth out of Quebec. And again, much like this, Bleu d'Auvergne, it's mild, it's creamy, there's a little bit of spice there, but it's not sort of grab you by the throat. Really great gateway blue, I would say, Bleu d'Auvergne. Nice, mild gateway blue. According to this, sweet dessert wines go well with cheese. Now, I don't drink a lot of wine, so what I would suggest with this would be a nice gin and tonic and a jammy dodger. So what is a jammy dodger? Well, this is actually a biscuit similar to a jammy dodger. There's a cream filled layer, and then in the top there's a well where they've dumped some jam and some sugar. This is a British childhood favourite. It can be traced back to the 9th century. Again, they suggest sweet wines for this. There's more of an aroma, there's more of a smell to the Forme d'Ambert. Yeah, much more of a smell. So much denser paste, what we call toothsome. You have to chew it a bit more. The blue flavour again is not overpowering. It's stronger than the Bleu d'Auvergne, but it's not aggressive. This is not something where you'd be like, not sure what I just ate there. It does have a lingering, mild metallic kind of flavour to it. And there's a little bit of chew on the rind, but again, that could be because this has been vacuum sealed. It's really good, really mild, but stronger than the Bleu d'Auvergne. Much creamier. Bleu d'Auvergne is much creamier, much less chewy, more melt in your mouth. The blue is still there, you can taste the blue, but it's not as strong as a Forme d'Ambert. But I wouldn't say Forme d'Ambert was a strong blue. I would still say both entry-level blue cheeses. So if you've never tried blue cheese, if you're frightened, if you're wary about eating mould, completely understand. I have been there myself. So I think that my preconception was, you know when you leave the tangerines in your fridge for too long and they get that powdered blue mould that flies off and it smells musty and I think that's what I thought blue cheese would taste like, and it absolutely doesn't. So if you've tried brie, camembert, crottin, anything with a white moulded coat, you're already eating mouldy food, but it's a healthy mould, it's good for you. I would suggest if you like those light bloomies, as we call them, with a white coat, try and find yourself a Cambozola, because that's kind of a marriage between camembert and a gorgonzola. There is blue mould throughout, but there's a white mould coat, so it's not overpowering. That generally I would suggest would be a great gateway into blues. Having said that, both of these would be a great gateway into blues. I don't think that either of these would be too aggressive for a blue beginner to cut their teeth on. It's difficult to choose a favourite, I have to say. I'm more used to the crumbly texture that you get with a Bleu d'Auvergne than the solid chewy paste that you get with the Forme d'Ambert, but they're both really good cheeses. One thing to point out is Forme d'Ambert generally is not vegetarian friendly. It's made with animal rennet. Bleu d'Auvergne can be made with either microbial rennet, which is vegetarian, or with calf rennet. So check from your supplier if you're a vegetarian. Forme d'Ambert is always made with animal rennet. So thanks for joining me for this deep dive into two different French blue cheeses, Forme d'Ambert, PDO, and Bleu d'Auvergne, PDO. Both of these cheeses are protected designation of origin, which means they can only be made in certain regions and following very strict practices.
And yes, I absolutely did spread some on my jammy dodgers. Thanks for joining me. See you next week.